Hey, how you guys doing? It is me again. They do call me Kraken, and we are here at my shop here in Weatherford, Texas. Um, a lot of things have changed since I have been on YouTube. It's been a long time since I've done a video, and I had good intentions on coming on and doing regular videos, and it didn't work out, man. And I don't know how often I'm going to do videos. I'm trying. I honestly I am. I'm trying. But this is the deal for me. And if you guys have watched my videos from the beginning, which I don't have a lot of them out there, but from the beginning, if you've watched my videos on this channel, then you know that I have a little bit of a history. Right? I've been doing woodworking most of my life. And just kind of to recap a little bit, I was in a major motorcycle accident about 4 years ago, maybe a little over, right around 4 years ago, and it put me out of commission for quite a long time. A very long time. And in that process, I went through a period where I just kind of gave up. And anyway. I'm not going to rehash it all because I've already done a long video on it. So if you haven't watched the video, go back and check it out. But for the last year and a half or so, almost 2 years, I've been trying to rebuild my business. My business fell apart after the accident, and I've been trying to rebuild it. And we have come a very, very, very long way. Which is one of the reasons I haven't been doing YouTube videos, because I've spent every waking minute of almost every waking day working on my business. I have not taken a break. I have not taken time off. I've taken a day or two here and there. We went down to see my parents for Christmas, so I took some time off for that. But other than that, I work about between 45 and 50 hours a week at my paying day job, and I work at least 40 hours a week on my woodworking job. And with all that time that I put into trying to rebuild my business, there just isn't really a lot of time to do YouTube videos. And let's be honest, I got discouraged, right? I was doing YouTube videos, wasn't getting hardly any views, and I got to this point where I was like, man, I've got to put product out, and I don't have time to be editing videos and putting all these different clips together, trying to make something that works. And I need to focus on my business and getting things going, and so that's what I did, and we did very, very well. When we first started, we were doing the most basic projects because I didn't have any tools. I started off with almost nothing. And again, you can go back and you can watch the previous videos and you can see where I was at with that. But I started with almost nothing. And slowly, as I've been making sales and as we've been building the business up, I have reinvested all of that back into tools. And so I was able to get a really nice table saw that I really enjoy. I was able to get a used planer off Facebook Marketplace that's just been a godsend. I was able to upgrade my miter saw and get a much better miter saw that I'm very happy with. In the process, I burned up one of my old sanders, and I had to replace it. And in that process, I also burned up my circular saw, and I had to replace it. And so we got enough inventory together that we started doing craft shows. And I made a decision at the beginning of this year that we were really going to try to expand my business, and that by the end of this year, by December, and I don't know if I'm going to reach this goal or not, but by the end of December, I wanted to be to a point where I could at least go part-time with my full-time job and dedicate the rest of that time that I'm working on with this job, both in marketing, doing craft shows, putting material together, designing things, and so on and so on and so on. And so I've gotten to the point where we're doing a craft show about every other month for the most part. I did one in March. I did one in April. I did one in February, March. I did one in March. I did one in April. I'm doing one in May, May the 17th. And then we're taking June off because I'm taking a trip to North Carolina in June to pick up a bunch of lumber. And then in July we're scheduled for a market. We're not doing one in August. In September we're scheduled for a market. We're not doing one in October. And in November we are scheduled for a market. And then we're going to take it from there, and we're going to see if we want to do one in December or not. More than likely we're going to do one in December. But as I got to this point, I realized that I needed to be able to scale my business. And so we took some of the profits that we made from everything else that we've been doing, because we have been doing decent sales. Not great sales, but we've been doing decent sales. But we took some of that profit and we invested it into a benchtop CNC. It's a 400 millimeter by 400 millimeter, which is about 15.7 by 15.7 inches. And you can hear it running in the background. That's what's going right now. And it has really been a game changer for me being able to put out a lot of product. So, but it's also been a really big learning curve. And that learning curve has caused me to have to learn how to do things that I've never messed with. So historically, I don't generally plan anything I build. I have an idea in my head. I can see it in my head. I know what I want it to come out looking like. And I build it one piece at a time until it comes out looking the way I want it to come out looking. And so for me to sit down and try to put that on paper is difficult, and for me to translate that into a computer program when I'm really not that computer literate anyway, I mean, I just barely get by, has been a bit of a struggle. But we have learned. So we're using Inkscape, and we'll do a little bit of discussing on this later, but we're using Inkscape to do a lot of our design work in. And then we're taking that design in Inkscape, we're converting it into SVG files, and then from the SVG files, we upload it into Easel. We're currently using the program Easel Pro, which is, it's got a monthly subscription rate, so we do have to pay a little bit for it. And with Easel Pro, we're able to do the design work that we need to do, finish the design work, create the toolpaths, and upload that to another program called GSender. And GSender is the controller that actually sends the G code to the computer, to the CNC, and allows the CNC to work. Okay, so that's a big long explanation for something that most of y'all probably don't give a shit about. And there's this discussion in the woodworking world about whether or not CNC work counts as woodworking or not. So there's a lot of people, there's always a snob everywhere. There's a lot of people that claim that if you use CNCs that you're not really even doing woodworking. Hey, whatever side of the fence you're on, man, that's cool. I don't care. I kind of look at the CNC as just a tool, right? It's a tool to use to create something. And it allows me to multitask, to be able to do other things, as traditional woodworking. So I build cutting boards. Cutting boards has been my meat and butter since I started. I build cutting boards, charcuterie boards, serving trays. I do, now with the CNC, I'm automating some of the serving tray part of this. I've got, personalization I'm able to do now and add that to my repertoire. But I also build birdhouses. I build shelves. I build, I build small furniture items, whatever it is that strikes me, that's what I build. So with the CNC, we're doing a lot of signs, and we're doing a lot of the serving trays, charcuterie board type things that would take me forever to do on a traditional router or a traditional ways. It's going to get loud in a second because I need to go in and I need to put eyes on what's going on in there. And two, I want to show you guys what we're doing. We're going to shut the video down here in a couple minutes because this project I'm working on is almost finished. But we have birdhouses in here, so if you look here, let me turn this around. So we've got a pile of birdhouses here that we're in the process of building right now. And then over here underneath this is one of the trays that I did on the CNC last night. We've got our Grill Master timer over here. We've got a Harley Davidson deal here. We've got the no working during drinking hours up here. I got a live edge shelf I built there. I've got the bird feeder. These are all going to the next craft show. And of course I built this shelf right here. Some of the signs that we built. Turn that off a little bit. Some of the signs that we built. Right, this one is for me at the craft shows. We got the Harley Davidson flag. We've got the Saturn flag. It's a little dirty right now, but we have it. And this is what we're working on right now. So this piece was commissioned. I'm being paid to make this, along with two other pieces that this customer ordered. And I've got a sign inside my truck bed right now that, well, not my truck bed, my Tahoe, that was also commissioned. But this is almost finished, so can't really see much right now, and it is really loud, so I do apologize. Let me go ahead and back off. We'll step back outside. Get a little bit away from some of that noise right there. But that is kind of, what I've been doing. We have a lot more stuff going on. This is just one of my shops. I have two shops. This is my CNC shop up here. And then we still have the old 18 by 20 shop in the back with the dirt floor. So we've got a dirt floor out here. It's a little bit of a mess. We haven't done a lot back here in the last few days because we've been concentrating on the CNC for the last month or so. But we are still working out here. So we're doing a lot. My stuff is still mostly outside. We have another board that we're working on. We're in the sanding process on this one. This is one of the CNC boards that I did. And you can kind of see the markings from the CNC machine here that we're working on sanding on this one. And then of course, we've got all of our wood that we're working with, right? It's just everywhere. The place is a mess. Anyway, so that's what's been going on with me, right? That's why I haven't been on YouTube, because I've been busy working. I just haven't had the time. And I know maybe it's not a great big excuse, but when I sat down and I started the YouTube deal, I was like, if people want to see what I'm doing, and if they're interested in what I'm doing, I'll make the time. But after starting it and really seeing that didn't seem to be a whole lot of interest, I had to sit down and think, the YouTube deal is something that I do want to do. I want to do it to promote my business. I want to do it to kind of help people. I want to do it to get my name back out there again. I want to do it because my business fell apart after my accident, and I'm trying to put it back together again. And so I did want to do it. But at this point of my business growth, I have to think about whether or not the investment in time that I put into the YouTube is worth it. And I'm back and forth about it. I'm on the fence. And like I said, I am going to keep doing things. I just, if I have the audience, and the audience wants to see the content, and the audience wants to be part of what I'm doing, then I'm going to make the time to do it. But if I don't have the audience, and if the videos don't ever go anywhere, then is it worth the time? Or should I just put an occasional video out every now and again to kind of just, update what I'm doing? I kind of want to talk about the CNC journey a little bit, but I also want to talk about the woodworking journey also. CNC is a little bit different than woodworking, even though my CNC work and woodworking kind of go hand in hand with each other. Give me 1 second here. Alright, we're almost done. This thing's got 6 minutes and 24 seconds remaining on the card. And the blue area right there is what's not done yet. So, anyway, the CNC work is different than woodworking. But just like a table saw, speeds up the process. You don't have to have a table saw. You don't even have to have a circular saw. I mean, hell, in the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, 1500s, back in 500 BC, they didn't have table saws, but they still did woodwork, right? So, I look at the CNC kind of the same way that I look at a table saw. It's a tool. Sure, it's automated, but somebody has to input the information to make it do what it's doing, right? And I did that. So anyway, you guys leave me a comment. You know what I'm saying? Leave me a comment. Let me know if this is something that you're interested in, if this is something that you want to watch, if this is something that you would subscribe to. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If this is something that people are interested in, then we will definitely make the time for it, right? But give me some input, right? Let me know that people are actually watching this and they enjoy it. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a share. Share the video out, right? Put it out there to your friends. Get people to come in here and watch. Get people to come in here and interact. Hey, and we'll do this thing, right? Y'all take care. Peace out.